Live from the studios of Hamilton Radio, welcome to Souled Out, the only Christian music program dedicated to independent Christian artists, their music, and their ministries. Now, here is your host, Ministry Director of the Souled Out Coffee House and live sound engineer, John Akunze.
Hello, everybody. I don't know whether I could hear myself because I don't have headphones on, so I'm assuming that all of you could hear me. I kind of feel like I'm at least at a concert. I feel like I'm at my coffee house because I got a really great monitor speaker, and it's like the same stuff we use at the coffee house there, Janine. It's all, I guess, Mackie Thump Series, which we love.
Yes.
So anyway, I hope Mackie will sponsor us sometime so we could, get some more stuff for the coffee house. Ooh. Which is now, and it's got away, ladies and gentlemen, the Sold Out Coffee House is going to be in its 19th year starting in October.
Which is totally amazing.
It's amazing because the normal coffee house ministry might last 4 or 5 years, but certainly not 19. So we know we're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And, we won't get mad at you for missing the coffee house team meeting this morning.
With a broken rib, I was hoping that everyone would forgive.
But anyway, we'll tell you all about that little extravaganza when we get done, And Pastor Lauren was with us today, and we're ready for our next event, ladies and gentlemen, which will be our coffee house stays closed for the summertime for those of you that have never been there because of the fact we don't have any HVAC in the area where the coffee house is. So it'll be extremely hot if we had the coffee house. Hotter than the music, okay, that you're going to hear because we always have really great music. But in any case, we are doing something on Saturday, September 21st with the Crossroads Inspirational Rock Band from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. Now, if you've never heard Crossroads, they were at the last time we did an outdoor event. We do one outdoor event in the summer, and if it rains, we don't do it. So let's start. The reason why I'm telling you guys today, especially since it's fresh in my mind because we just had our meeting this morning, is we want you to start praying for good weather starting from now because we don't want to cancel this because Crossroads takes secular music but they change all the words to Christian, sort of like the old Christian group Apologetics, except they're not bound to the expensive contracts. If we tried to get Apologetics, it'd probably cost us about $10,000, but Crossroads could come for a free will offering. And these guys are magnificent musicians. They're magnificent musicians. And so, you got to come and hear this. So what they did is they also have written some original tunes. So we're going to intersperse some of their original stuff, which we played on our show from their original album. Yep. And then in order to appease one of the members of our team, they're going to do some stuff that you might hear on K-Rock. So they're actually going to do some stuff that people might be familiar with. I told, even though we're dealing with a primarily non-Christian audience, we're going to make sure we carefully intertwine it and weave it real well. So it's all like one big package. So we hope that everybody listening that lives in the greater Philadelphia area can mark your calendar now for Saturday, September 21st. We're going to open the gates about 6 o'clock. We're going to start at 6:30, and we're going to be done by 8:30 in order to keep the residents of the neighborhood happy. Although the good thing about us is right across the street there's a rec center, so everything's going to be aimed at the baseball field, and because we're hoping that between the food trucks we're going to have and the music, people will come over. That's the whole thing. You can't leave the gospel in the four walls of the church. You got to take the church outside sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're doing this show, because what bigger outdoor arena than internet radio where we're reaching between 4 and 6 million people, so your audience is going to be real small today. Only about 4 to 6 million people are going to be listening to you sing today. That's about it. No pressure. In 14 countries, by the way. But anyway, it's amazing what you could do with internet radio. So without further ado, I'm really honored that, Janine and I work really hard on trying to get really good guests for the show, really interesting guests that haven't been on other shows. So you can't say, I saw it last week on that show, or but guests that are unique, hopefully only to our show, because the artists we have are independent. None of the artists that you see in here or on our coffee house stage have like big record contracts, because we don't dislike those artists at all, but you see the record company's in control of what they do, and our whole thing is making sure that we get the gospel out, and even if we don't have money to pay them, that they're still willing to do that because it's more of a ministry. And so in any case, I know I'm going to mess this up, but is it CHRISIEVE?
It's CHRISIEVE.
CHRISIEVE.
Yes.
But I like CHRISIEVE too. That sounds cool. But anyway, CHRISIEVE, and we're really excited to have you here with us today. And CHRISIEVE is an amazing singer-songwriter.
She's super well-rounded.
Yeah.
She's got her hands in a couple different things.
Do you play also? Do you play instruments as well, or no?
I play the drums.
Play the drums. Excellent.
And I'm learning guitar.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, she's an unbelievable singer-songwriter, but also I've read some of you. I mean, I've read stuff that you've written as far as poetry and things of that nature. So you do the spoken word stuff too.
I do poetry.
Poetry.
I wouldn't call it spoken word because I don't think I have the raptitude.
Oh, or you don't like act it out, where you turn into a character and then act it out.
Does that.
Oh man, we got to get him here, man.
There you go. You write it and have him rap it out. There
Well,
you
we
go.
got
You can get team.
we got to get him on the air, man.
Yeah.
Next time you
he's
come,
in the other room. We can
next
drag
time you
him
come,
in.
bring him, because I would love that. I actually love when they act it out, when they actually are playing the part of whatever is being written. Because even though I don't agree with her politics, when Whoopi Goldberg were first starting out, she did a one-woman show where I think she did, about 20 or 30, Deacon Clarence is saying goodbye, everybody, our buddy who does the other shit. It was just on Man in the House. If you haven't tuned into his show, you got to tune in. But anyway, Whoopi used to do, about 20 characters in that show. And she was amazing when she just started out before all this other stuff happened. I always try to find a positive in people. I'm not going to dwell on where she's at now. But back then, man, I tell you, she was an incredible artist, and if she wanted to, I mean, the talent hasn't left her. She could depart from her current modus operandi and go back to doing that. Because let me tell you, especially the characters that she did were back in the day. There was when you were a young black girl. I was never a young black girl, so you have to excuse me if I get this wrong. But my wife was. I'm married to somebody from Ghana. I don't know what Janine told you. So, but they always wanted to have blonde hair. And so the one character that really impressed me was the one that wore the white T-shirt around her head, and they pretended that was silky blonde hair. Okay. That was a genius character, man. She did it so well. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and I remember the little girls in my neighborhood wanting to I was the only white person in the neighborhood, and them wanting to have long, luxurious blonde hair, as Whoopi Goldberg said in that part of the sketch. But she was amazing, man. So I would love to get your husband to come and act this stuff out.
Movies.
Would that be great?
I still love the Sister Act movies.
I do too.
It's crazy funny.
But if they do act stuff out, I don't want you to get inspired to do like a pitfall as part of the scene or anything.
No, I already did that 3 weeks ago.
No more. She's been suffering ever since she did that pitfall at the sketch that she did at church.
Yeah, it was VBS, and I landed and kind of punched myself in the pacemaker, and here I am. I decided to leave my sling in the other room.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're here today. So anyway, I know that you've read a lot more about our guests than I have, and you guys have been communicating to each other.
Yes, we've been chatting.
So why don't you tell us some of the things, but also ask some. I know you're going to ask more pertinent questions than I will today.
Well, I know. One of my favorite things, and I've chatted with her a lot about, is I absolutely love. She has this line of YouTube videos where she is she has a little duo going on with her little mini-me.
Oh, wow. Oh, you mean all the little YouTube snippets, right?
Yes.
I love those things.
Her daughter is 3, is she?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Yes. And oh my gosh, she is absolutely precious. And I sit there and I go, oh, because the two of them sit there and they rock out to all kinds of worship songs. Sometimes as she's driving along in the car, and the two of them are just belting it out, and here she is, 3 years old, knows every word, and she's just back there like a diva in the back seat, just singing it out and just praising the Lord, and I just love her to death. I just want to pick her up and just want to eat her up.
And she's not here today?
Oh, she's here.
Oh, she's not going to be on the air? She's not going to sing on the air today? Not going to sing on the air with us today?
That's up to Mommy.
Okay.
But, she's absolutely a peach. But yeah, I tell you, so my question was, what started you doing those videos? I mean, I got such a kick out of them, and I've seen you've got a bunch of people watching them, and there's so many of them, but I know you get a lot of joy out of them, but me having 3 boys and no girls, and I kept saying, Lord, why not just one girl?
Just
please,
one,
right?
just
So
one.
I get the biggest kick out of whenever I see little girls, but she is absolutely adorable, and she just is so full of God's Spirit.
Yes.
And I just want to encourage you, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it, girl, because she is just so full of life. It's amazing.
Well, I kind of wanted to just incorporate her musical ability into something.
Mhm.
And I had already started doing YouTube videos, and my husband was encouraging me to incorporate her into them, because it's hard to do a YouTube video when you're a stay-at-home mom with a daughter who's awake if you don't want her in your videos. It's hard.
Right.
Photo bombing,
gonna,
right?
Yeah, she's gonna be
Or
like,
YouTube
mommy,
bombing.
mommy. So the easiest thing to do was just kind of include her in them.
Oh, okay.
And-
Method
and
to the madness.
So I started doing them when she was like, I guess she was like 1.5, with her, like, start doing them with her in it when she was about 1.5.
Wow.
So she didn't say a whole lot then, and then I started helping my sister with her YouTube channel, which is Faith Hope Mama. So she does
Oh, neat.
her YouTube channel, and so Eliza would see her cousins kind of involved in my sister's channel, so then she would be wanting to be in mine. So then
Nice.
she was like, the more I did it, and the older she gets, the more vocal she gets.
That's great.
And I think in the future, like, am I gonna help her have her own channel? Like, when she's old enough to have her own channel, will I help her have her own channel?
She's definitely got the
Are
bug.
we gonna do them together? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I do think about the future in that way. But that's how it got started. Yeah. So.
By the way, Ruben, I don't know whether let me know when you get the playlist done, but also I don't know whether Chrissy's mic is on or not, only because I could hear me in the monitor, and I could hear Janine very well in the monitor, but I don't hear her in the monitor. I don't want our listeners to miss this stuff, because this is really cool, especially the story about how that whole thing started, you know. Were you a child prodigy kind of person, though, as far as your singing and gifting and musical writing?
I don't like considering myself that. My sister always says, "You're a prodigy." And
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. See? I didn't know that was
my
God.
sister does that. I don't do that.
See?
I'm just a normal person.
Right.
Like everybody else.
That's right.
Just liked music.
That's right.
My dad kind of encouraged me to start writing my own songs when I was about 12, maybe.
Wow.
And so I started doing it then.
Right.
But I didn't really have the opportunity to start singing any of them until I was probably like 16. I would write them. I'd sing them at home. I
Right.
didn't mean
Yeah.
like sing them in church or
In
anything
church,
like
in
that.
public.
Right. And then the more I would hear like different ones, I'd always be like, man, I wish I wrote that song, because it's so like sometimes other people write what
It
you
inspires
feel.
you.
Yeah, and it's like, wow. But I'm thankful for the people who get to write those songs.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
thankful that they wrote them, not trying to,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
But I do
Ditto.
think, man, you know, so I've always tried to kind of improve on that. My dad, he's like the main encourager for me with that, because he'd always be like, this sounds too straightforward. Try to make it more poetic. And then I'd be like, well, how do I do that? You know? So it made me like really try and push, you know? And then somewhere along the line, even with that, you kind of got to just do how you feel God leads you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you can't take input from other people.
Sure, sure.
But at some point, you just have to realize, okay, well, God, he's given it to me like this. So it's never going to always please everyone who hears it and has a critique on it. So you
Right.
just really have to do it the way you feel God is leading you to do it. And, you know, incorporate the good things from everyone else. So sometimes I think now, sometimes they sound poetic, sometimes they sound like straight to the point. And I just figure whoever God allows to listen will just listen, and whoever it will just bless them. Not that I don't want to bless a lot, but I mean, you know, everyone's voice is for a specific audience. To
Well,
me,
iron
anyway.
sharpens iron. So
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, sometimes it's a little difficult when we get critiques, especially when we write things that I know when I've written things that just flowed out of me really easily. And then I'll get some kind of critique back from, like, say, my husband, or if I have somebody else read it, or, and I'll be like, but it flowed out so easily.
Right.
So why shouldn't it stay that way? And then you're like, then you struggle with it, and then, but, sometimes God puts those people in your path, like it flows out of you because it's the message that's important, but sometimes, just the linguistics sometimes needs a little rounding,
Yes.
So, and then we just kind of like, but this is my baby,
Yeah.
and that's, as songwriters,
Oh, yeah.
we all get like that. It's like, no, this is my baby. I don't want to change it, So sometimes we have to just like kind of, all right, okay, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, well, I obviously, one thing I don't like about having my headphones is I can't tell what's going on in the other room. So I'm assuming that her songs are queued up. If not, I might just have her do an a cappella song first to kick us out of the box until we could get our 3 songs from the box in.
Well,
and
I've
go from
seen
there.
Ruben peeking his head in every now and then, but it's been a bit.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen Ruben peek his head in. That was Pastor peeked his head in.
No, before that, yeah.
Good. Okay. So anyway, do you have one that we could do? I know you're gonna have some a cappella stuff. So
Oh, there he is.
What's that? Well, I can't hear whether she's on the air or not. Okay, cool. And I don't know whether her pre-recorded stuff is queued up or not. That's all. Yeah, that's all. So what we'll do while we're doing that is you have one of your a cappella songs we could start off with, and then we could worry about the rest of it. There we go. Oh boy.
There you are.
There you are. And tell us a little bit about the song and what we're going to hear.
Yes.
Okay. No problem, man.
This song I'm getting ready to sing is called "You Mean the World to Me." I wrote it because I love the Lord. I guess at that point in my life when I wrote it, I was just reflecting on how good He is to me, and now I'm really coming through.
Yeah,
How
little
much-
feedback.
Little less gain there, Ruben, on her mic because we got
And,
feedback coming out of the monitor.
how much He loves me, and
That's good.
so I was reflecting on that when I wrote this, and understanding that I don't have a whole lot to give, because the only thing I have to give is myself, and I can't claim anything of mine except for me. So I give it, that type of thing. So that's what this song is basically about, and it's a little, to me, it's this is the one I was trying to practice guitar with so I could play it today, but anyway, we're gonna try it. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, you mean the world to me. Here I am, a person who doesn't have much to give, just my life and the love in my heart. And my life, it's flawed and it's scarred, but it's all that I've got. And to me, you're worth everything. I'm so glad I am what you're wanting, 'cause you are what I need. And I need you, Lord, more than anything. Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, 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 you mean the world to me. Jesus, you mean the world to me. Here to stay, you're a rock and you're firm and you're so secure, the strength of every weakness in me. It's the truth, I would never see the good life, I've never seen the day without you constantly pursuing. I'm so glad I am what you're wanting, 'cause you are what I need, and I need you, Lord, more than anything. Jesus, you mean the world to me. So I know I am nothing. Without you I am nothing, I am nothing. So I know I am something. With you I am something, I am something. I'll not trade a day in my life lost in your hug. I'm trading my life for laughter, my heart is up above. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, you mean the world to me. Jesus, you mean the world to me.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
You know, I can't help to think about the early church when Jesus, once he ascended into heaven and left everything to the disciples. They didn't have organ, a church organ like we have now, and they didn't have guitar or anything like that. So I kind of picture those fellowships so very much like sounding like this, you know, where it's just, you know, them gathering together in groups and singing things like that. I'm sure they sang a lot of psalms back then, even though the psalms was from the Old Testament. But that was the first hymnal. So I'm sure and I would love to have heard what the original. We have many artists that have did the psalms with some really wonderful tunes. But I would love to have heard what the original songs sound like.
Same here.
I just can't imagine, you know, because all we have like. We could go back to Gregorian chants, but even Gregorian chants were, almost 1,000 years after Jesus was here. So I would love to have heard what the original was. I guess we're not going to hear it till we get up there.
Yeah.
And say, hey, David, could you run down that number 91 for me, please? Take it a little bit of a bouncy beat, E minor, if you could. And one, because he'll be there, you know.
Yeah,
So it'd be kind of cool to say, could you run down like 103 for me? I just want to see what that sounded like, you know.
Yep.
I would love that, you know. I would absolutely love to hear that, especially the one that we did ever since I was in the youth group. That make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. I wonder what the original one sounded like to the actual psalm. That would have been so cool. So that's why I was thinking of that, and it helped me reflect and helped me to relax when I hear people do it. And I don't know, listeners, let me tell you something. It's not easy to stay in pitch and when you don't have any instruments. So what she did, big deal. No, it's a big deal. I mean, I've been singing since I was 10, and I still go off pitch sometimes, you know. So I think that this is good. This was excellent.
Absolutely.
Really, really well. So, I don't know where we're at with our playlist, but I would like to take a little bit of a break. We actually have completed the first half hour here, believe it or not. And so we're going to, as soon as we get... You're almost done yet? Oh, no.
So we'll run her track.
Okay. Want to run her track? Okay, so
They'll do another acapella song.
do an acapella song, and then we're going to run your track. Okay, there you go. You heard it right from the producer's mouth. That's the beautiful thing about live radio. We can't make this stuff up. It's what's really happening right now. So you know that we're live, ladies and gentlemen. We're not on tape. We didn't tape it yesterday. This is actually happening. So tell us about the next one you're going to do while we buy a little time for our illustrious producer.
Okay. This song is called I'm So Glad I Know Jesus. It started as a challenge between me and a friend at work.
Oh boy.
The friend at work wasn't actually a Christian. Hopefully he is now. I don't know. It's been so long ago. But he was interested in poetry, and somehow he found out I liked to do it as well. So he challenged me to write like a stanza in like a minute. So I wrote something in a minute, and I really liked it so much so I just prayed on it. And I was like, Lord, can you give me like some words and a melody to this so that it's not just 4 lines. It
Right.
becomes a song.
Right.
And so the Lord did, and I'm really thankful for it. This song is probably one of my babies.
Okay. We were talking a little bit about that before we came on the air.
Yeah.
This is my baby.
This song, I don't know, it's my thanksgiving to the Lord for what he's done in my life.
Wow.
It's like I would be nothing and be I would be nothing and be nowhere. That's probably not good English, but without him.
That's right. Me neither.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be sane. I wouldn't be sane. Honestly, I wouldn't. I'd probably be in a mental institution or I'd be dead.
I would have been dead too when I was. I had a rough time in my childhood and my teen years, so I would have been out.
I'll third that.
Yeah.
So I thank the Lord for Jesus, who constantly pursues us, who doesn't stop coming after us, even when we deserve him to not come after us. And even when we put ourselves in our own stupid situations, he's still like this. He's like,
come, right.
Yeah, like he doesn't even accuse. Like even like the lady who, they were like, where are, he's like, where are your accusers, the adulterous woman? And she's like, they're nowhere. And he's like, okay, so I'm not going to accuse you.
So I don't accuse you
and
either.
He had the right to say, look what you did. And he didn't even bring it up. He didn't even mention it.
Right.
That's how quick he's to forgive. And so for any of us, if we are in something or we need to be pulled out of it, God is there openly, like just waiting to receive us. He's not angry, looking at us, pointing a finger. He already knows we're messed up people. So that's what this song is to me. It's like really dear to me.
Well, we appreciate that you want to share that with all of our listeners, because if it's that personal, that I hope that people will pay attention and somebody that needed to hear this is just dropping into my spirit, of course, as needing to hear this is going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
So here we go.
My sweet security, one who keeps my heart in harmony and brings the sunshine when things are rainy. Loving me your specialty, my close confidant, one who keeps my tears bottled up and brings the stillness when on seas turbulent. Caring for me, you're fervent. What would I do without your love? Where would I be? Where would I stand? I will never know a greater love. I know I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know Jesus. My faithful friend, one who reminds me what Jesus said, and brings this and lightens life's paths when those roads darkened, guiding me you've proven. What would I do without your love? Where would I be? Where would I stand? I will never know a greater love. I know I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know Jesus. No one else could ever understand me quite like you. No, no one else could ever fully love me like you do. No, no one else could ever understand me quite like you, yes. No one else could ever fully love me just like you love me. What would I do without your love? Where would I be? Where would I stand? I will never know a greater love. Oh, I know I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know. What would I do without your love? Where would I be? Where would I stand? Oh, no, I will never know a greater love. Oh, I know I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know. I know, I know I know I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know Jesus.
Wow.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing.
It's amazing.
I
And
love that song.
when all the turmoil going on, the two mass shootings just came to my mind as far as what happened in El Paso and what happened in Dayton. And, you know, I think if we could all just take a step back and listen to the words of songs like this and let that calming nature of God come upon us, you know, and we don't know why things are happening the way they're happening. Everybody wants to try and make this political for some reason, but we know that in the last days there's going to be a lot of messed up stuff before Christ comes back. So all of these things are birth pangs to me leading up to the end. And we're getting closer and closer with every life that's lost, with every tragedy, with every natural disaster. You know, from tsunamis to tornadoes to hurricanes. We're getting closer.
Yep.
And God's trying to give us a warning, which is why I'm real glad that the church that I attend, the Haven Church in Burlington, New Jersey, we're going to be doing the National Night Out on Tuesday and trying to help people find out about the Lord. And my playlist has arrived, so I don't have to blab anymore. You see how God heard me, says, "Well done, John." So now I'm gonna do it. And I don't know why you don't have Some Days by 288. But actually, he does. I see what he did. Sneaky sneak that he is. I see.
I should know Ruben's little interpretive notes that I know exactly what he means. So he says he's only going to put these in, obviously, if we run out of this stuff. So anyway, so what happened is, like I said, it's just amazing that we need to really just reflect upon the inside, and it's not so much the outside. What's really happening, what the Scripture says about the last days, about the end times, and hopefully, if we come to Him and if we do stuff, like I said, our church is doing the National Night Out, where we're going to talk to people, engage people about the Lord at this event, and give little fun things out. We have these little light sticks that we're giving out, these little LED things. They got that we put stickers on. We put stickers on 3,500 of them on Thursday night. So we're going to be handing out 3,500 these light sticks and hopefully engaging a bunch of people with the gospel, but also offering if they want us to pray with them right there. And it's amazing that it's this Tuesday just following these two tragedies. So it's almost like the timing was perfect because people are ready. And so we're hoping we're going to see an unbelievable amount of people come to Jesus Christ this week. And I can't participate in that because I work on Tuesday nights on the secular job. But we have a second opportunity on August the 18th, Sunday. So I am putting a pre-recorded program on for you guys. But I'm hoping if you're in the Burlington area, it was at West Hampton, I believe, that you'll come to the municipal building over there where they have the amphitheater and all that stuff. And we're going to be doing a national night of, not a national night, but a night of worship. And it's our, I think it's our 4th or 5th year doing it, but this is the first year that we're totally hosting the event. And so it's going to be our worship team from church, and we're going to do a little family fair thing from 5 to 7 before it starts, where we're going to have different booths and stuff to do and lots of food, and also be giving away more of our famous light sticks and engaging with people and just asking people if you want us to pray with you. If you have a need that, we could pray for, if you have a problem or trouble or something in your life that we want to pray for. And we want to invite them to the Haven because we are definitely a different type of church. We meet on Saturday night, so the first thing people ask is, are you guys Seventh-day Adventists? No, we're not. We're not, but we do it because, first of all, the original church, a lot of it met on Saturdays. Sunday was the day of rest where nobody met or did anything, really. They did have some worship stuff happening on Sundays in the original church. But also we wanted to make that a possibility where Sunday could be something you do with your family, that you could kind of hang out with your family and do something together and just turn the DVR off and stop watching the NFL for once and put the tablet away and just do something as a family. I mean, I miss playing board games with my family when I was growing up. Stratego and Game of Life and all that stuff. I miss all that stuff. Yeah, I miss that so much, man. Look, and so why not get back to this? That's one of the things our church does. So if we do anything on Sunday, we have like special activities for the kids. Like we had an Easter egg thing for the kids and some other things. And we do a lot of things on Sunday so the kids will have something to do. And it'll encourage the family to all come out and come together. But we're doing this worship night. It should be good. So it's going to start at around 4:30. We'll start with the fair that we're going to do, and then we're going to hit the stage with the music right around 7 and get everybody on their way no later than 9:30. Get everybody on their way, and it should be a great night. And I'm going to be working the tent, working the Haven Church tent. We had to do our little training the other day, and but this is what it's all about, where we take it to the people. Whatever God tells us, we speak from the heart. And we don't have to convert anybody. The Holy Spirit will take care of that. All we got to do is present it. Yeah. And so we make such a big deal out of it, but just present it. If they reject it, okay, well, I love you anyway. It's okay, cool. Have a light stick, Come see me at church next Saturday. Let me know how bad I did on the sound. Because I'm a sound guy, so I use that. And you'd be surprised how many musicians I run across, and some of the people, like I said, one of my engineer friends, well, I'm not going to name on the air, but he saw my little post, and a couple weeks back, I had no idea he's looking for a new home church, and also he's we need to pray for him because he's also out of work. His secular job came to an end, so he's out of work as well. But he came to the church, and I said, "What are you doing here, man?" He goes, "You did the check-in, didn't you?" Yeah, I saw it on my iPhone. You did the check-in, right? I said, yeah, I guess it works. I guess that's why Pastor Paul, one thing we do at our church is we, first thing we do, Pastor Paul starts the service. They do this big vamp. It's like kind of a jazz type vamp. Hey, good evening, Haven Church. How's everybody doing today? Now, before we go any further, everybody check in. And he makes everybody, we have like 2 services, about 300 in each service. Okay. And everybody checks in on Facebook. So you can imagine the reach. Yeah. The reach of that. If everybody and we check in with the same phrase so that we know, wait a minute, they're at the same place that Sue's at, or that Harry's at, or that Joe's at. We check in with feeling good, feeling right, because it's Saturday night at the Haven Church. Nice. So that's what we put. So if you look at my Facebook, you'll see every Saturday night there. And I go a little nuts with it because I like to take pictures of what's happening. So I take my phone and I'll take different pictures of Pastor Paul greeting people before, and I'll put a little montage there, and I'll put a little blurb about, well, we made it through another hot and humid week. So but now, ... I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right because it's Saturday night at the Haven Church. I said, What do you mean you didn't plan for it? You're not here for the 5 o'clock. Don't worry. Get here about 6:30. We're going to have some goodies for you. We have some cold and hot drinks, whatever you want. You could bring them right into the sanctuary and make yourself at home because we're going to do it all again at 7 o'clock. And that's what I do. And that's when Chris came. My friend Chris came right. For the 7 o'clock service. Well, long story short, he hasn't not come to church since that Sunday. So he's been at our church 4 times now. So I'm praying that, because let me tell you, if you think I'm a good engineer, he's a better engineer than me, and we need it on the team, because right now we don't get a lot of time off, because the way we do our sound is we have 2 engineers on duty. One sits at the console, which is a laptop, and the other one walks around with the iPad. Okay. To tweak. So we have 2 guys that have been doing it for 5 years that the church has been there, and I don't think they've ever had really any time off. So when I came along, they were like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." I didn't want anybody to know who I was, but Pastor Paul and I met at a coffee house. Mike, the same coffee house has been around 19 years. When his daughter was in a college band called This Is Our Gold, and they were my opening artist. And Paul and Debbie weren't pastors then. They came because they wanted to see their daughter band. Mm-hmm. And who knew to fast forward now that he be my pastor and pastor's wife, and their daughter Amanda has graduated. She's our ministry director of the church, and she leads the worship on Saturday with the band. Mm-hmm. So God knew that I needed those familiar pieces, so when he was ready to blast me out of orbit and find me a new church, that I would know this is it. Mm-hmm. This is your home. This is where you're supposed to be. And that's exactly what happened. And so it's just an amazing thing. But if we get my friend out there, it'd be awesome, because he also could play instruments. And couple of our guys on the sound team, when there's a problem with the drummer couldn't make it, or he'll say, "John, take the console," and I'll take the console, and he'll go up there and play the drum. And one of our other guys could play like when we did a water baptism. Well, Pastor Paul happens to be our piano player, because he was a musician, a secular musician, right. Before. So they'll put Paul up there. But if he's doing the baptism, he can't be up there playing. So John, the other engineer, said, "You're okay, okay." So he jumped up last night on the keys to do the little background music while we're doing the baptism. So we all like pitch in that. We were all multifaceted. You know, I could sing backup. So if one of the backup singers passes out, I could go up there and do the harmony. Right. So we're all multifaceted, which is what I love about this church. So much so. Chris is there, multi-instrumentalist, producer, arranger, singer-songwriter, and sound guy. So we'll have everything. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if he comes and decides. But we know it's something that you have to pray about. You can't just do. You have to pray. But it's just been a blessing. The only reason why I mention it is not to twist his arm in case he's listening to us today, but just because it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And he's using the Haven Church. Just like I said, I believe this music is going to touch somebody. I'm going to get an email from Swaziland or something saying, I heard this song, this a cappella song, and something's going to happen. I don't think you're here by accident. Well, before we go to your songs that you have on your tracks, to give you a little bit of a break here, we're going to go to 3 songs in the box, as we said, take a little break. As we're actually finishing the first hour, believe it or not, coming up on the 6 o'clock hour. So I never know when I do these in different orders the songs, it seemed to all fit together and tell a story. So let's see what I did tonight. But I always start off with the guy that used to have this time slot, which our show is a spin-off show of, and now that he retired, we have a weekly show because my friend Art retired. We had a show called Sunday Worship and Talk with Art and John, which is SWAT, SWAT, and Art used to be a cop. He's a retired cop. So when we picked the name Sunday Worship and Talk, we had no idea until we were actually a week into the show. So wait a minute, Sunday Worship and Talk, SWAT. SWAT. You were on the SWAT team, weren't you? Yeah. So God just choreographed that whole thing. But we have a ministry called Battle for Children Charities, where we do work with victims of child sexual abuse and child trafficking. When Art was on the police force, he was in the SVU, the Special Victims Unit. So the last, I guess, 15 years of his career at least were dealing with the victims of child sexual abuse and trafficking. Which is a very, very hard line of detective work to do. It's very, very, especially since Art's a dad. So it really hit home. And so we started this ministry called Battle for Children Charities. And every year we do an annual Battle of the Christian Bands. But it's not your average Battle of the Christian Bands where we have garage bands or amateur bands. The battle is just a kind of a play on words in that I get the 5 best bands that I have found since the previous show, for the previous battle, and put them up on the stage. So it's not so much a competition, even though, believe me, the winner gets a very nice token of our appreciation. We give them 12 and a half hours of studio time with Miss Diane Zako, who is one of the people that started the career of Boys to Men.
Oh, okay.
And she is generously has been giving us that prize for all the years that we've been doing this, over a decade now. Mm-hmm. And she's been giving us that prize to give out to people. And one person that actually took advantage of that prize, a lot of people, I don't know why they don't take advantage of it, but the one band that did ended up producing an EP because they were really studio savvy. So in that 12 hours, they were able to do a whole 4-song EP. Okay. They produced it, they got it out there, and they got a call to open up for Mercy Me. So this is an independent artist that has no desire to go on a label because he has a plumbing and heating company, and he's the second generation. He's very happy making a lot of money in the plumbing field. But he just does it because he loves music and because he wants to minister. He got to open up, him and his band got to open up for Mercy Me.
Oh, nice.
So we know that God rewards you when you do things for children, especially widows and orphans. We know that's a very special thing in God's heart. And some of these kids are basically orphaned because it was the people that were their parents that were perpetrating the crimes. In a lot of cases, it's sickening, but that's what's happening. And so that's why we're out there. And so so Art decided to retire from radio, but to go to tell the story of Battle for Children Charities, because he was a worship team person, but he decided to go out there as a duo with my friend Richard Jeffess, who used to be my co-host here on this show. Mm-hmm. And they're out there. They have a group. Their duo is called Two or More, as in where 2 or more are gathered in His name. Mm-hmm. And they go out there and they do play all over the country. So he actually did an EP that Diane produced at Junction Music at the same place that gives us the prize, but of course we made sure this was a paid gig. We paid for this EP, so he has a song from that EP that's the title of his tour, because the Hope is Alive tour. So I told him, as long as I'm in your time slot, we're going to play that song every time I'm in, that my show happens to fall in your time slot. So we're going to start off with Hope is Alive. The second song we're going to hear is my good friend Samuel Elias, who used to be from Delaware, now lives in Minneapolis. And he has a song called Be Still, because basically in order to find the blessed hope, you need to really be still, and you need to trust in God, and you need to listen for His still small voice. Mm-hmm. Because as the song will say in the lyrics of the song Be Still, I have a plan to bless you, to make you a nation worthy of my name. That's in the song. So that's the first two. So you see how that fit together. And it all fits together because of my good friends Hush Harbor and what they sing in the song Remedy. Because Jesus is the remedy for everything we're going through right now. So those are the 3 songs we're going to hear. Hope is Alive by Art Silvano, Be Still by Samuel Elias, and we're going to finish it up, come back live with more of CHRISIEVE and we're going to hear Remedy by Hush Harbor. You're listening to the Sold Out program at 6 p.m. right here on HamiltonRadio.net.
When you're broken and hurting, forgetting the meaning of the one who died on the cross. Your steps are unhealing, no reason, no meaning, all the worries that make you feel lost. Hope is alive. Hope is alive. Hope is alive in Jesus Christ. You're running on empty, feeling the frenzy of everyone hating on you. Just up above you, the one who loves you will certainly see you through. With hope is alive. Hope is alive. Hope is alive in Jesus Christ. Life rise, hope is washed away. Hope brings peace and a brand new day. Well, let's maybe dimming in walls, maybe closing, you're feeling it harder to breathe. But just up above you, the one who loves you will certainly set you free. Hope is alive. Hope is alive. Hope is alive in Jesus Christ. Yeah, hope is alive. Hope is alive. Hope is alive in Jesus Christ. In Jesus Christ. Yeah, hope is alive. He's alive.
still, I know I'm God. And I will never leave your side. I promise to be there no matter what you face. I know it's hard to understand all the plans I have for you. Just be still and know that I am with you. Sometimes you feel all alone with unanswered questions running around in your mind, and you wonder, where is my God? I tell you I am here. I have a plan to bless you, to change all that is in you. I have a plan to make you my nation, worthy of my name. I have a plan to bless you, to change all that is in you. I have a plan to make you my nation, worthy of my name. I have a plan for you. Yeah. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. I have a plan for you. Yeah. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. I have a plan for you.
For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Heard people say, just believe. I've heard people say, just get what you need. I've had people love me, but I never felt complete until you came along with a healing net for me. I was broken, I was bleeding, I was sinking in the dark surrounding me. You poured forgiveness on my sickness. Now I know that you are my remedy. Oh, my remedy. My remedy. I've been high and I've been low. I've been trying to do this on my own. Falling down more times than I can count, but your love keeps lifting me. It's medicine for my soul. Yeah, I was broken, I was bleeding, I was sinking in the dark surrounding me. You poured forgiveness on my sickness. Now I know that you are my remedy. Yeah. You're the air that I breathe, the fire inside of me that keeps me warm when the world's so cold. Oh, you saved me, made me whole. I was broken, I was bleeding, I was sinking in the dark surrounding me. You poured forgiveness on my sickness. Now I know that you
Are you looking to become a better leader, whether that's in business, in sports, or in life, and you haven't found a book yet to help you get to that game-changing aha moment? Well, we have the book for you. Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership. Tighten the Lug Nuts will help you get to that game-changing leadership moment. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iBooks, or at 360managementservices.com. That's the number 360managementservices.com. Pick up your copy today and start changing your leadership styles.
Hello, Miss Farkle, and welcome to your first day at PJ's Pancake House's newest location in Robbinsville. And there's your first call.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House, Robbinsville. No, I'm sorry.
What was that?
They wanted to know if PJ's Pancake House is open for lunch and dinner.
Miss Farkle, PJ's is open for lunch and dinner. Be careful.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House, Robbinsville. I'm sorry, we don't.
And what was that?
They asked if PJ's has a bar area, you know, to watch the baseball games, NASCAR, or football.
Miss Farkle, take a look around you. What do you see?
PJ's Tavern with lots of flat screens?
Right.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House and Tavern. We're not just pancakes and breakfast anymore.
Plus, catch the game and enjoy PJ's new tavern menu. PJ's Pancake House isn't just for breakfast anymore. Get to the new PJ's in Robbinsville, 19 Main Street, across from the State Farm office, and online at pancakes.com.
I think we're back in live. Are we back live? Hello. I think we're back live. Are we back live? Yes, I hope we're back live. Thank you for listening to it. Here comes Mr. Rubin. Are we back live?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
There we are.
That's cool. I like commercials. Now, if we could get some Christian companies to advertise with us too, so we could eat at the great Pancake House. We were just talking, and hopefully they're listening to us. We were just talking. I turned that LED on, by the way. I thought I did. Anyway, we there you go. We're gonna. Yeah, we're actually gonna might one day do the show from there. I would love to do that. So if you're listening, guys at PJ's, you know,
I would dig that.
I could bring you a really good band. You'll never know you're listening to Christian music, and I'd love to do my sold out show from your restaurant. But we're going to be visiting you. It looks like, what weekend is that going to fall on?
The weekend of the 24th, 25th?
Of August. Yeah, so we're going to be visiting you that weekend. And we're gonna have some food there.
The 25th.
Yeah, we're gonna have some food there before we do our radio show. So, or afterwards, probably. I'll probably go afterwards. Yeah. We'll see. But anyway, we want to thank our sponsors, because without them we wouldn't be doing what we have now. We wouldn't be able to bring you shows like this, and we certainly wouldn't have a guest like CHRISIEVE with us today. So now that we have everything in the system, let's hear what you sound like fully orchestrated with a track. And what song would you like to do for us now?
The song I'll be singing is called Listen. It is from my album, which hopefully will be coming out soon, called Where Are the Laborers?
And you know you're going to get airplay if you come out. It's going to go right into the system.
I'm going to definitely give you guys one.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
The whole album is centered around telling people about the love of Jesus and encouraging them to spread the good news.
Good.
And reminding them that one day Jesus is coming back.
Right.
So they need to be ready.
Okay. So we'll have Mr. Rubin strike it up, and hopefully we'll get the balance right, and we'll get it going. You're listening to CHRISIEVE right here on the Sold Out radio program on HamiltonRadio.net.
listen to me. I'm the truth in my voice. People, listen. Oh, listen. Yeah. I say, listen to me. Make disciples with hearts that will let the world know I'm the truth in my voice. People, listen. Oh, listen. Oh, yes. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. I swore by myself 'cause there was none higher than I to swear by. To prove my word is true, please listen. And I'm the rock on me you can depend. My word is true. Please listen. Listen to me and don't harden your heart. I say listen to me. I'm the truth in my voice. People listen. Yeah, people listen. I say listen to me. Make disciples with hearts that will let the world know I'm the truth in my voice. People listen to me. Oh, listen. Yeah, yeah. Oh, ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Listen, listen, yeah. Oh, listen to me. Listen.
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh, I love that.
Now see what she sounds like with a full band, everybody.
Right.
So you're one of those. You definitely need to get this album out.
Absolutely.
And you definitely need to get the band. Where are you recording it, by the way?
My dad, actually, he is my producer.
He's got his own
My
studio?
dad's recording. Yes, this is
Really?
legal. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. Because I was going to say, I have a lot of friends that are in that industry, especially in your area, because we got to get this thing out. You know, we got to get it done and get it out. And the other, and if you put a band together, a live band together, I have a good friend of mine who is absolutely doing an unbelievable job with you. If you're not friends with her on Facebook, her name is Peace. P-E-A-C, Peace Ike. You know her at all? Okay. She is a multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, and doctor of physical therapy. And she is an incredible Christian person. And I don't know what that is. That sounds good, too. But she's an incredible Christian, and she's an incredible musician. And her sister is very does a lot of like jazz and jazz fusion and R&B. And a lot of times Peace plays the drums for when her sister's quartet. But if you what Peace does a lot of, she'll write some impromptu songs, like when we all wished her a happy birthday. So she thought she'd write a little song back to us and put that on Facebook. It's only a couple lines, but the style would fit in like perfectly. Okay. And she's very eclectic. In fact, I might even ask you to try and get her on the show. I don't know whether she'd do it, but I would love to get her on the show. But I could see you guys working with each other perfectly together.
Dan
so
and I would volunteer.
Yeah, her husband could play just about any instrument known to man.
Yeah, I mean, anything he gets his paws on. I mean, he plays, his main instrument is, most of the time lately, he plays acoustic guitar, but his main instrument is usually bass. Okay.
I've seen him play drums.
We have a mandolin.
I've seen him play mandolin.
He plays drums. He plays keyboards. He's been dying to get his hands on a ukulele. We have a cajon at home. Even though the kids and I bought it for him for his birthday, I play it at church more than he does.
Yeah.
But
cajones are fun, man.
I do percussion. I also play what do you call it? Bells. Glockenspiel. I was a mummer. And I was
she was a mummer. She was actually a mummer.
Yeah. Wore the whole back.
How about that?
Yeah.
And she's got pipes. You see her sing, man. She's got pipes.
Yeah. We have a music ministry ourselves, which actually, that's what you're saying. On the 25th, we're going to be actually
They're going to be the guests on the show
Yeah, we're gonna
that
be
day,
playing again.
and then we'll make sure we're going to make it a whole day and go over to next door to PJ's.
Pancake house.
That'd be good. That was great, though, man. Well, you're listening to the Sold Out radio program here on HamiltonRadio.net. And we're here with CHRISIEVE today in studio. Hopefully the next time she could bring Dad with her so we could talk about some of the studio nuances and technical stuff with Dad, and we could get him to play with you live. Because then it'll, like I said, but she's done a magnificent job with the a cappella so far. But we want to hear her play live. So I don't know. Do you think we should listen to one more and then go to songs in the box? You hear one more now that we got the tracks going, or what? What do you think? Okay, so Ruben, next track is which one, Chrissy?
Ain't No Time.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this song, and then we're gonna go hear some songs in the box after that.
Ain't No Time is a song about. It's kind of haunting a little bit, actually, to me.
I dig songs like that. The stuff that kind of gets in there and rattles around.
Yeah. So the hope is that if anyone is listening who doesn't know the Lord, they will realize that it's not time to play with your life.
Right.
Because you don't know when death is. You don't know when your last breath is going to be. And so it is an encouragement to take the time to choose. Take the time. It's not hard. Jesus wants us as we are, and then he fixes everything else.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it, really.
Okay, well, you're listening to CHRISIEVE on the Sold Out radio program here on HamiltonRadio.net. Bring the music up a little bit, please. Monitor.
Does it, everything's okay, and yet their works have turned from gold to hay. My love is true, I'm warning you. Here I am, my arms open. Come take my hand, completely be all I want you to be. And what you're waiting for, I am knocking at your heart. Open a door, time so short. I'm telling you, I'm coming so soon. So soon. Oh, there ain't no ain't no time. I'm coming like a thief in the night, I am. I'm coming like a thief in the night, I am. I'm coming like a thief and there ain't no time. Midnight's approaching like you know other doors about to close. Time to stop playing the games and think that we're still being chose. We really ought to guard our hearts, make sure all in is pure. Keep tabs on our lives and stay ready because his word is sure. When you don't live for him, you miss all of his benefits, you miss his love, his peace, his safety net, the richness of Jesus Christ and heaven's rest. Here I am, my arms open. Come please take my hand completely.
listening to CHRISIEVE live on the Sold Out radio program on HamiltonRadio.net. That's awesome stuff, man. I got to hear the whole band on this, man. You know, I got another guy that's an unbelievable bass player called Keith Worthington. He lives in Willingboro, and his band was on the show too. He's like, but I could just picture all these different players coming together. Keith and Peace and then you guys and Dad. Man, this would be. We could put together one heck of a touring band, a local touring band for the local scene, man.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's gonna be great. And sort of once they hear this stuff, they're gonna freak out, you know. Because you would never know, and that's why we also got to get you get the stuff up on, you know, like I said, even if you don't before the album's released, get the stuff up on Facebook, you know, so people could see it and hear the tracks, and because I'm telling you, this is really good stuff.
Very.
Yeah, so I'm grateful that you decided to come and join us today and grace us with your presence.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yay!
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Next time we gotta get everybody on. Gotta get the daughter singing with you on the air. Gotta get Dad in here. Gotta get your husband doing some of the poetry and doing acting out some of the spoken word.
Oh, that'd be really.
And then remember, didn't I tell you she'd fit in perfectly with if Brick Snow Straw were with us today?
Yeah.
So there's a hip hop group, the husband and wife duo from New York City called Brick Snow Straw. Talk about the story and, you know, when the Egyptians took the straw away from, and they still had to create the same amount of brick. And I don't do a lot of holy hip hop because I really don't like it, to be honest with you. It's my personal taste. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. But I like what I call, there's kind of a middle genre between hip hop and rap. There's this thing where there's a melody line that's not a sample from another song, but a real original melody, and then they rap and hip hop around that melody, and I named my own genre. I call it melodic rap.
That's cool.
Okay, and so they do what I call melodic rap because Reverend Sister Pam, she's got pipes. Pastor's wife, she got pipes, you know, and Rev Trev, man, he's incredible on the rap stuff, and he was back in the day before in his BC days, before Christ days, he was one of the big DJs in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So he did it. So he did all the sounds and all that stuff and the rapping and all that. So you gotta if we get that far in the playlist, you'll get actually they're coming up. They're gonna come up next in this next set of three. Cool. So that's a perfect seg. I forgot where I put them, but they have a song off of their CD called "Get There." Which is really cool. I don't think Rev Trev raps in this one. If I did the one I did last week, He's the Life. Rev Trev. But anyway, you'll get the idea. Well, at least all the music is being made by Trevor in the background, and so we want people to know that you can know right now today whether you're going to get there or not. You don't have to wonder anymore. Like if you walked outside your house in Philadelphia and you accidentally got hit by a SEPTA bus, and you know the minute you breathe your last here, you would actually breathe your first in front of your Savior. Yeah. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So it only takes you to accept what He's already done. So you don't have to work towards it. You don't got to sell a whole bunch of, you know, charity candy bars, you know, in those boxes and on the street corners. Every 2 minutes they're selling these things, you know. And you don't have to like sell magazines or publications, or knock door to door every Saturday morning and wake people up and disturb everybody. All you got to do is receive what Jesus has already done. He said, "It is finished" on the cross, and He meant it. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And all you have to do is, if you've been listening to the words of the song, you know, and you've been hopefully seeing it on our countenance, you know that we wouldn't even be here. None of us, if we didn't receive Christ as our Savior. I would have checked out a long time ago. But thank God when I was 14, I found the Lord. My sister and brother-in-law had received Christ a few years before, when they were living in the Pittsburgh area. And they were praying for me, and I had no idea. But they've been praying that I would get converted, that I would receive Christ as my Savior, because they knew it. And so a few years later, I did. And I was one of those kind of guys that was bullied in school. So basically, I was a nerd. I always hung out with the older adult people. I didn't fit in with the kids. And so
Me too.
Yeah, I was a nerd. I was a total nerd. The teachers used to bring me in the teacher's lounge and listen to records, because one teacher was a real audiophile. And it's because of that one teacher who now is with the Lord, my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Blaskowitz, who passed away about a year and a half ago. But because of him is why I started learning how to do sound and learn how to play guitar when I was 14 and have quite an eclectic taste in music. I like everything from like classical all the way into like some of the metal stuff. I draw the line with metal with the screaming. That blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what you call that. Some people call it screamo, but it's dark. And to me, I understand that I've even had a band. I even compromised and had a band on this show that does that stuff. But they say that the kind of people we're trying to reach wouldn't understand anything else. But to me, if it sounds like weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth, how are they going to finally judge the love of Jesus? To me, that doesn't sound. But maybe it's just me, because that's why I'm not in that community. That's why I'm not there. That's why I don't need it. But so I don't put those guys down. I think their hearts are in the right place. That's why I had them on the show. But I just can't get into it. You won't hear me bouncing down Roosevelt Boulevard with that playing on my CD player in my car. Blah, 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 blah. I just can't. I don't understand it, But that just shows you that Jesus and God could use any form of music. Eddie Mann, who I play on the show a lot, who's a good friend of mine, he was the first artist on our stage that sold out more than 18 years ago. And he's still on our stage every December with his band. He told me, John, there's only two kinds of music. Music that pleases the Lord and music that doesn't please the Lord. And the thing is that if it's bringing people to Christ, is that going to please God or not please God? Yeah, it's got to please God. Even though I don't understand it, and I wouldn't come to Christ, I would need, more like, Unforgettable by Nat King Cole to bring me to Christ, back in the day. Some kind of musical style that's like, more traditional or R&B or jazz. But if it gets them...
I couldn't see you rocking out to like Mallcore.
No, Mallcore I like now because Mallcore doesn't scream. Joshua can sing.
Yeah.
That man's got pipes, and they've been invited to the show. The only reason why Mallcore hasn't been here is they're too far away. Okay, they're like past the York, Pennsylvania, almost in the northern Maryland area. Mm-hmm. But believe me, Joshua's got an open invitation to be on this show. Mm-hmm. And his father's the bass player, so. You can't, so Dad wouldn't want anything to do with it if it was ungodly. Dad's been around the Christian music scene for probably 40 years. Mm-hmm. And so, but Mallcore's a great, they're I say a heavier rock band. I wouldn't even call them metal, but because a lot of it is progressive. I grew up with Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and stuff like that. So, but it's got a really edgy sound to it. Mm-hmm. If I knew that, I would have put one of them in the playlist today. But I digress. Well, in order to fit in Evie's last recorded song, I think you have one more that's on track today, right? Yes. Okay, we gotta get to the playlist here, and
you digress. No.
Yeah, I always digress, but that's what makes the show impromptu, because it's not, you never know what you're gonna get when you tune in. Like life's a box of chocolates,
Yeah.
Just call me Forrest Gump, the Forrest Gump of Christian radio. Anyway. Yeah, I'll take it. But anyway, Bricks No Straw. There's a song called Get There, and it speaks for itself, as we said before. And then right after we're done with that, we're going to hear Mr. Eddie Mann from his new CD, and a song called Let Your Steadfast Love Be Upon Us. And Eddie's going to do that song live at our coffee house. And also, if you're not doing anything on August the 12th, Monday, August the 12th, Mr. Don Heckler does outdoor concerts at Karen's Place for the summertime. And yours truly is singing with Eddie Mann that night.
Ah.
So you get to see me up on a stage with Eddie Mann, one of my mentors, because he asked me if I would sing. There's a song that he has, the name of the song is called The Hope of Your Calling. And he asked me if I would sing that with him up on stage that night. So normally I don't go to the Monday things because I have to... When I get from my secular job, I'd have to drive straight there, so I'm going to be in my uniform. But what I'll do is I'll change once I get there and get up on the stage. So I'm actually making that excited because usually I'm beat by Monday night, but I'm going to be there. And my good friend Lee Goldberg is opening up. Mm-hmm. And Lee has never heard me sing, so Lee's going to be shocked out of his gourd maybe, hopefully in a good way, and not like, oh, God, he's horrific. That's why I'm glad he doesn't get up there unless people ask him to get up there. But anyway, so let your steadfast love be upon us, and then we're going to finish the set and come back live with you so we could have another song from CHRISIEVE with the favor of God, because once his steadfast love is upon us, we have his favor. And my good friend Noé Feliz, who's going to be at our coffee house in January to kick off the new year, and his band. You like them, right? Noé Feliz. He's cool.
Noé, yeah.
So I think we're all going to like it. So let's take a little break right now. Let's listen to Bricks No Straw as they talk about getting there, because we're all going to get there if you receive Christ as your Savior. You could do it right now, and I want to see you get there. Take it away.
Look to the sky. The chosen few, they're gonna fly. Don't waste your time. With him there's everlasting life. Let your steadfast love be upon us, O Lord, even as we hope in you. Let your steadfast love be upon us, O Lord, even as we hope in you. Let your steadfast love be upon us, O Lord, even as we hope in you. Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Let your steadfast love be upon us, O Lord, even as we hope in you. Let your steadfast love be upon us, O Lord, even as we hope in you. Our heart is glad in Him. We trust in His holy name. Our heart is glad in Him. We trust in His holy name. Let it rain down, let it rain down, let your love rain down on us. Let it rain down, let it rain down, let your love rain down on us. Oh, let it rain down, let it rain down, let your love rain down on us. Let it rain down, let it rain down, let your love rain down on us. Immerse us, immerse us, let your steadfast love rain down. 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 Let your steadfast love rain down, Lord. Ooh, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Let your steadfast love rain down. Would you wash away all my fears and tears, Lord? Will you wash away? Let it wash away, let it wash away. Our hearts are glad in Him, that we trust in His holy name. Wash away, let it rain now. Let it rain now. Let your steadfast love rain down. Let it rain, let it rain. Let your steadfast love rain down. Oh, let it rain, let it rain. Let your steadfast love rain down.
Searching for your kingdom, searching for your righteousness. Really want to please you with my heart I do confess. Give my life to you, Lord, not withholding any part. Been Then you pour your love on me, and I know since you pour your kingdom, thirsty for your righteousness, really wanna please you, Lord. Really wanna please you. With my heart I do confess. Give my life to you. Give my life to you, Lord. Not withholding any part. Then you pour your love in me. Pour your love on me. It's the favor of God. Resting on my life. Resting on my life. Showing all His goodness. Showing all of His goodness. Let all others know, so everyone can see that the Lord is on my side. It's the favor. Resting on my life. Showing all the Lord's goodness. Showing all of His goodness and His mercy. Let all others know that. Let the Lord know that He's on my side. Strength for today, a brighter hope for tomorrow. Your grace is on display. Lay aside all of my sorrows. Your blessings overtake me. I can't believe my eyes as you pour your love on me. I just know that it's God. Resting on my life. Resting on my life. Showing all of His goodness. Showing all His goodness. Let all others know that the Lord, He is on my side. The favor of God. And His grace and His mercy. Resting on my life. Resting on my life. His goodness. His grace and His mercy. Yeah. Let all others know that the Lord, He is on my side. Oh, it's your grace, merited favor. Merited favor. It's your grace. It's your grace. It's your grace, merited favor. You supply every need. It's your grace. Yeah. It's your grace. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's your grace. It's your grace. Yeah. It's your grace, merited favor. It's on me. Resting on my life. Resting on my life. Showing all His goodness. Showing all of His goodness. Let all others know that I know my side. Merited favor. Resting on my life. His favor's all around me. Showing all of His goodness. Didn't do anything to deserve it. Know that the Lord is on my side. Everywhere I go, His favor. Oh, me. Resting on my life. Showing all of His goodness. Showing all His goodness toward me. Let all others know that the Lord is on my side. It's your grace, merited favor. It's your grace, it's your grace. It's your grace and merited favor. It's your grace, it's your grace. It's your grace, merited favor. It's your grace.
Isn't that cool, man? It's the favor of God. It's the favor of God. I'm sorry, I'm really digressing now. If you want to hear me, if you really want to hear me sing, you got to come on August 12th. I sing one song with Eddie Mann, because other than that, then the people would leave. So I get away with one song because then people won't leave. If I do more than one song, then people start walking out. So we got to make sure. Anyway, you listen to Sold Out radio program here on HamiltonRadio.net, and that was my good friend Noe Feliz, who will be at the Sold Out Coffee House on the first Saturday of January in 2020. Believe it or not, we're approaching 2020. And before that, of course, you heard Let Your Steadfast Love Be Upon Us from Eddie Mann, who will be the featured artist at Don Heckler's community concert at the Doylestown Mennonite Church in Doylestown, Pennsylvania on a Monday, August the 12th. if you don't want to wait that long, this Monday, which I believe tomorrow's the 5th, I believe. Am I correct, Janine? Today's the 4th and tomorrow's the 5th? I think, yes. So tomorrow's the 5th. I believe Dana Isles and Face Down will be there on Monday, this coming Monday, tomorrow, as the first August concert. He does this in lieu of his coffee house because he has the same HVAC issue. Only thing, his church lets him do more than one outdoor concert. I do my one outdoor concert in September, but he gets to do them every Monday when the coffee house closes down because we would die if we were in that coffee house because it's stuffy. It's in a basement like ours, but it's real stuffy and damp. So he only goes from, same as me, he goes from October to June, same as I do. And the rest of the time he does the outdoor stuff. So it was great having you on the show today. I really enjoyed myself.
I'm thankful to be here. I really am. I'm really, really blessed to be here.
Well, see, a lot of people don't realize that you hear, well, who's this girl calling me to be on this radio show? I don't want to be on. But see, I try to make people feel like you're in my house and we're just kind of rapping about music and I just, that's all it is a conversation. And radio is not as intimidating as being on television. So even though you really are on television, the camera's not in your face like one of them big giant cameras with the teleprompter. It's a little tiny thing sitting on a tripod, so you don't realize it. But you can go back and watch it later if you want.
Sometimes I forget it's even on.
Yeah.
We get to talking, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot the camera.
I can't stand my recorded voice, and I can't stand watching myself on TV. So I never watch the reruns of my show or
You
listen to it.
definitely have a radio voice, my friend. So your voice is.
We're back. Dirty Dan the Garbage Man. That was an old sketch with Jimmy Fallon and Ben Affleck. Before when I could watch Saturday Night Live with a clear conscience, I can't watch it anymore because they've taken my fun and my enjoyment and turned it to this is a political fest, and I don't want that. I want entertainment like we used to have back in the day.
Yeah, I like the old school stuff. Back
Yeah,
I
mean,
Gilda Radner and.
Yeah, I mean, let the and then we did make fun of the president. It was not in mean spiritedness.
No.
I mean, Chevy Chase every week doing Gerald Ford taking a pitfall. Even Gerald Ford liked it and invited him to the White House to do it for the staff. And same thing with Dana Carvey when he did the best George H.W. Bush imitation of all time. His last day when they did the farewell and he didn't want everybody to be bleary-eyed, he invited Dana Carvey to do him for the staff as his farewell as luncheon. Everybody laughed instead of cried, which the staff usually laughs when your term is up, and it's your last luncheon together. But he brought Dana Carvey on, and he was like rolling on the floor. Dana Carvey's hilarious. So why do we have to bring politics when it's just mean-spirited? Obviously, I don't care where you stand. All I care about is where you stand with Jesus Christ. That's all that matters to me. Because to me, if you really stand with Jesus Christ, then it's kind of a no-brainer where you're really gonna stand politically. If you're really, really standing with Jesus Christ. So that's all I care about. Because he's going to teach you right from wrong. Not me, not any political commentator on either side of the aisle. Jesus is going to teach you through his Holy... Because he said, when he ascended into heaven, when his ministry here was done, I'm going to send you a helper. That was on the day of Pentecost when he sent the Holy Spirit. That's your helper. So therefore, if you're tuned into Christ, I'm not worried about you because eventually, even if you might be off the beaten path now, he's going to get you back on. Because don't forget, it's hard to stay on the path because it's narrow. He says his way is narrow. It's not the wide boulevard, which is the easy way. It's narrow. It's like a little alleyway.
And if you're off, the Holy Spirit's going to convict your heart and
That's
point you in
right.
the right direction.
So that means even if I'm wrong with my political views, eventually the Holy Spirit will correct me. I would welcome that. If I'm wrong, if I'm getting it wrong, fine. Tell me. No problem. But we don't have to argue. We don't have to be nasty with each other. We need to be united. That's why we're called the United States of America, because the Bible is very clear that when you're unified, you have strength. Whenever you're divided about any issue, political, religious, or otherwise, moral, ethical, any issue, you're weak. You're weak and vulnerable. And what happens? The devil seeks those he may devour. He's prowling around looking for those weak spots so he could take that abundant life away from you, so he could take away your opportunity for salvation and eternal life. He could take it away from you. Don't let him win, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let the devil win. Don't listen to him. He's a liar. He's a liar. Don't listen to him. The only thing you need to listen to is the still small voice of God. And if you call on his name, he's going to tell you. He really is. It's no joke. He's going to tell you if you're just quiet enough to just listen. Do your own research. It's easy. The Bible comes in about every version known to man, and there's many of them that are really, really easy to read. When you get there, when you start maturing as a Christian, you might want to read some of the more difficult versions only because they're more closer to the way the manuscripts were that were around when Christ was here and when the Bible was written. But for now, there's no reason why you can't take one of the easier versions, such as the New International, or Tim Hawkins always makes fun of the Message Bible. You know, when I know we were so it's comedian Tim Hawkins, and when he said, and it's like, oh, let's see, John 3:16, God so loved the world. Ooh, and a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. You know, because the Message Bible is like way out there. But hey, look, I believe that all Scripture is profitable, and that means even if the Scripture is in a different version, and even if it may not be 100% accurate to the transcript, I think God's still going to speak through it. If it says Bible on the front cover, I think God's going to tell you. So whatever you want, whatever version is easy for you to read.
There's even an easy-to-read version on YouVersion on your phone app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use it.
I have that. In fact, every morning I do the 12-month program where I think this is my 4th year reading through the Bible in a year. I do it first thing in the morning when I'm at work, and I have other little, like sometimes I'll get into a little extra one where I'll do a little 4-day study on something, whatever. And I like to do it with my friends. Like once in a while, I get my lazy friends to sign on to a 4-day one with me where we're commenting back and forth with each other. But they're lazy to do the last part where you have to comment to each other, you know.
Right.
But I like it, you know. In fact, I tried to even start a Bible study group using YouVersion. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Anyway, but before we go off the air, since we started a little late, we'll get to go a little bit over. So before we go off the air, you have one more on the track for us to hear today. So tell us about what we're going to hear.
Captured by You is another one of my babies. So I have 3 babies. I have Eliza, and I have the song I sung earlier, and I have this one. This one actually came out of a really hard spot for me in my life. I feel like it was like a valley of decision or something like that. And I was able to experience the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. He came through for me, which he always does. But sometimes you go through things and sometimes you feel like, oh no, this one's going to get me this time, you know. But I thank the Lord because he always comes through if you just hold on. Just hold on. So this song is called Captured by You, and it's about that part of it, and in the midst of that, realizing that I need to be like Jesus. Jesus is who I want to be like.
Right. Okay, you're listening to CHRISIEVE live on a sold-out radio program on HamiltonRadio.net.
By your patience, I want to be just like you, Lord. I'm captured by your faithfulness, I'm captured by your patience. I want to be just like you. I am captured by the things you say, and I am captured by your way. I want to be just like you. I am captured by your love, and definitely by your touch. I want to be just like you. I'm captured by you. I want to be just like you. I'm captured by you. Your life for them. You were treated here with ridicule. Man trashed your love and still you reached out your hand to them. I'm captured by the things you say, and I am captured by your way. I want to be just like you. I am captured by your love, and definitely by your touch. I want to be just. Your spirit constantly to be throughout my frame. I know it's what will change your life, not by power, not by might, but by your spirit, Adonai. I'm captured by the things you say, and I am captured by your way. I want to be just like you. I am captured by your love, and definitely by your touch. I want to be just like you. I am captured by the things you say, and I am captured by your way. Wanna be like you. I wanna be like, just like you,
That was awesome, man.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
And may you all want to be like him.
That one is the one that the word haunting came to my mind. That's the one, is something about the melody that it just really is. It just has like this haunting mood and sound to it. Just sucks you in when you're singing it.
Wow.
I just really like that one.
Praise God.
Beautiful.
So what's the time frame? When do you at least predict that the album may be closer to completion or closer to release?
I would say the full thing by spring 2020.
By spring? By 2020? Because as I was going to say, what we'll do is this would actually fit in perfectly with the January coffee house if you wanted to open up that night for Noé.
That would be neat.
Because that would fit in with what he's doing.
Yeah.
If you want to come in, you could do like the ones that run. We could put the tracks on. I could set up I have a small DJ rig that I use sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I could set that up if we can't get anybody to accompany you, even if it's just piano and or guitar, no other instrument. Even if it's just broken down, doesn't have to be fully orchestrated. Right. And you got plenty of time to work on it. So maybe like I said, it'd be the first Saturday of January. That'd be great.
The 4th.
Yeah,
January 4th.
January 4, 2020. So even though the CD won't be out, might be good to get your feet wet and get some of this in front of an audience. And I think Noé would like it. I think he'd appreciate it.
And your music would complement his really well. Well, I mean, you heard
you heard "Favor of God."
Yes.
But and now that you know how to see him on, you'll go into his YouTube page and you'll like some of the other ones that he does. as well as some of the ballads that he does also. So, well, anyway, you've been listening to the Sold Out radio program here on HamiltonRadio.net. We will be back again with you next Sunday with my good buddy who I've been trying to get here. He calls himself Cool Hip Priest.
Father Chris.
Father Chris. He's actually a priest. He's actually a Christian artist and a rock and roll music player and an unbelievable guitarist. And the night before, he's going to be in Souderton, Pennsylvania. What's the name of that event? Let's get that out there real quick. The name of that event in Souderton. And he's going to be playing with a couple other artists, I think. And I actually was supposed to be down in the York, Pennsylvania area at another event, but I'm not going to be there. So I'm going to try to get to Souderton. So if you're listening to the show and you want to come say hi, I'm going to try to be up there at that event to support Father Chris. And I know Janine was planning on trying to go up there as well.
Yeah.
But I just want to get the name of the event and the address.
Philadelphia Hope House. It's at Souderton Community Park, 207 West Summit Street in Souderton, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and the Hope House, I guess, is that for recovering youth? I can't remember. Is that for orphan?
Yeah, on the Facebook event, it says a day of hope for youth battling addiction and abuse.
There you go. And it's ironic because the event I was going to go to was for teen suicide. I think this is really an important event as well. And we'll talk after we get off the air. But his wife, Danny, is great. Danny Rocks, she calls herself. Donnie Rocks is awesome. She sings and he plays guitar, and he wears the cassock, the whole cassock with the little white thing. You know,
sleeveless.
He wears the cassock, man.
Sleeveless. Yep.
I'll show you the picture when we get off the air. But Father Chris is going to be live in studio because if he's going to be in Souderton the night before, he's good enough that we're going to stay, and so he could be in studio next Sunday live with us. We're going to have the Cool Hip Priest.
It says also at the Souderton thing, besides the Cool Hip Priest, is Rex Carroll from White Cross, TNT, and Fair Warning.
Right.
The other artists there.
Right. So definitely, but like I said, we're mainly there for Father Chris because he's traveled all this way, and of course he agreed to be on our show the next day. So we want everybody to see this guy's ministry and meet his wife. Yeah, that's Father Chris. There you go. There's Father Chris, and there's Donnie Rocks right there.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Looks like a bumblebee with the socks on. But he's cool, man. And he's going to be here. Maybe we'll get him to talk about. He loves to talk about his gear, so we'll get to talk about some of his gear as well.
Pastor John's unicorn is what I've been calling.
I don't know why you call him that, but that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to call him my unicorn. But
you've been trying to get him on here for so long.
Yeah, and I had no idea that there was a different faction of the Anglican Church that, although they still do a lot of things liturgically, the messages and the way they do the messages in the one that Father Chris is part of is more like what we're used to. And so I forgot what they call it. He told me, but we're going to talk about that on the air. So it's good that I don't know because now I won't give it away. We're going to talk about that on the air because you never know. If I get thrown out of the Haven, I might put the cassock on. I already have the collar, so I might put the cassock on and join up that denomination because if they support music like that. Then even liturgical or not, that sounds like a good spot for me. As long as I could preach the proper way of being born again, and not salvation by works, but salvation through grace. And that's what it is, folks. So remember that. There? It's before. It's as we said before. All you got to do is receive it. It's already a free profession versus what? I don't know. I used to know there's two words that come together there: profession versus procession. I don't know. But anyway, the thing is, all you need to do is ask him. He stands at the door and knocks. Doesn't say he bangs on the door or gets knocks down the door. Well, Revelation 3:20. Yeah, Revelation 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come into you and dine with you and have fellowship with you. And that's all you got to do. He's already done the work. Just receive the free gift. He says, "I came that you might have life and have it abundantly." Well, if you think that the Christian life is boring, I don't think that you could tell from the people up here in front of you today, because we're having a great time, and I don't miss anything about my prior to being Christian days.
Nope.
I don't miss a thing. I in fact, like I said, I would have been dead because I would have been committed suicide.
I'm just as ornery as I ever was.
That's right. So, if he could accept us, if these could accept these broken vessels that are in front of you today, and use them for his glory and your honor, then he could accept you as well, and he could use you for great and mighty things.
Absolutely.
And so we're here as living testimony for that. So let us. How can people get in touch with you? Even though I don't know whether you have an official music website, or what's the easiest way for people to get in touch with you in case they still want to get you at the church even before the album comes out, or.
The easiest way right now, Facebook, you can find me at CHRISIEVE. Just type in CHRISIEVE, CHRISIEVE.
CHRISIEVE, okay.
And then I'm also on YouTube, also CHRISIEVE, so that shouldn't be
That's
too
easy.
difficult.
And you get to see her and her cute little
daughter,
singing partner,
yeah,
Eliza.
singing partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Little Miss Thing.
Yeah.
There, it's in the other room.
And then I have an Instagram that I'm just starting up. It's called I Am CHRISIEVE, because CHRISIEVE was taken by somebody.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Are you serious?
Well, that's good. Make it easy and make it simple. And you want to get in touch with her, that'd be great. And certainly, I'm sure she'll if you sign on to all of that and like the page, friend request, whatever you got to do, you'll find out when the album's going to come out, and you'll also will obviously be putting announcements up as January approaches, since she'll be coming to the Souled Out Coffee House with Noé Feliz. So we'd love to have all of you out there
We'll
too.
definitely be putting up updates along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be posting stuff and.
And when we get the bricks in here, we'll see if we'll call Chrissy up to see whether Dad's available, and we could get her to do some of the stuff. So you could get to meet get to meet and hang out with the bricks as well.
Party time.
So anyway, God bless y'all. We're grateful that you're here today. We're grateful that we were able to be with you today, and we look forward to seeing you next week at from 5 to 7 right here on Hamilton Radio Channel HR2. Get the free app. Hamilton Radio 3.0. We're going to be having a new app coming out soon, so be looking out for that. We'll be letting you know. But also, we have a great new website. The website's coming along. Ruben's doing a great job with that.
It looks really cool.
www.hamiltonradio.net. You just click on the HR2, and you can listen to what we're doing. So, till then, God bless you. Have a great week, and get in touch with us. We'll be giving out our email address on the outro, and we look forward to hearing with you. Stay sold out to Jesus Christ. We'll see you next week. Take it away, Sis Adrian.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Sold Out. We pray the
That is
program
sold
was
out.
truly
Yeah.
a blessing to you, and invite you to join us every Sunday, live right here on Hamilton Radio, channel HR2. Please feel free to reach out to us. The address is sound4ministry@gmail.com. Till next time, this is your announcer, Yo Adrian, wishing you peace and reminding you to stay sold out to Jesus Christ.
Hello, Miss Farkle, and welcome to your first day at PJ's Pancake House's newest location in Robbinsville. And there's your first call.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House, Robbinsville. No, I'm sorry.
What was that?
They wanted to know if PJ's Pancake House is open for lunch and dinner.
Miss Farkle, PJ's is open for lunch and dinner. Be careful.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House, Robbinsville. I'm sorry, we don't.
And what was that?
They asked if PJ's has a bar area, to watch the baseball games, NASCAR, or football.
Miss Farkle, take a look around you. What do you see?
PJ's Tavern with lots of flat screens?
Right.
Hello, PJ's Pancake House and Tavern. We're not just pancakes and breakfast anymore.
Plus, catch the game and enjoy PJ's new tavern menu. PJ's Pancake House isn't just for breakfast anymore. Get to the new PJ's in Robbinsville, 19 Main Street, across from the State Farm office, and online at pancakes.com.